Hello and welcome to this week's Fit Finance sessions with myself, Tom Senegals, Henry Elliston and Tim Webb. And you'll notice I'm in the office today and Tim and Henry are still working from home. And Tim, I think you've been reading some articles about, okay, now as we come back to the office and clients are asking us, are we working from home or are we taking meetings, and obviously rules permitting. But some firms are taking different strategies, aren't they? What's sort of occurring in the corporate world and what's going on there?
Yeah, no, I think it's a big question, isn't it? A lot of people have been asking, is the business world going to return to its usual ways of sort of suit and booted and everybody in the office all the time, that kind of thing. Clearly, the smaller companies have more flexibility around that, but there's some interesting bits and pieces that came across this morning with that BP. Have said that effectively 25, they're going to be working from home for up to 40% of their time throughout the week, which affects about 25,000 staff across the UK. So I think, clearly that's quite a lot, and one of the big employers out there are doing that sort of thing. I think more in the financial world, however, Goldman Sachs, one of the biggest investment banks out there, has said no nonsense effectively, and David Solomon, the CEO, even called it an aberration, the whole working from home thing. So that certainly is more of a stronger culture that's going to be maintained. I think the previous sort of financial culture, but yeah, no, I think there is going to be a bit more flexibility there. I think over the course of all the lockdowns, really, clearly, sort of businesses have adapted and perhaps proven to themselves that actually, life can go on. Productivity probably has been affected, but I would argue that has the effect of productivity has sort of been decreased as we've got more and more settled into this way of living. I think it's probably got to be assessed on a subjective basis, though, really, on each business and how they operate. I mean, for us, I don't know how you guys have found it, but I think it's gone pretty well. Some clients are clearly far more keen to look you in the eye and get a feel for you and meet in person. But probably 95% of the people that I've been speaking to are quite happy to work on this basis, which is what I wasn't really expecting, to be honest. I thought at the beginning, it'd be an absolute nonsense and it'd be quite troublesome, but to the contrary so far.
Yeah, I think for our businesses, it's worked quite well. I think equally some clients do like face-to-face meetings as well. But I think it's causing a lot of people to question how they're working and who their employer is. If you like the sort of Goldman Sachs approach to life, which I think is very different to a lot of firms, then that's great. But equally, I think a lot of people are reassessing both how they live and where they live. But if you are switching roles to either get some more work-life balance, or even if you're staying within your own role, what are the sort of things, Henry, you've been talking to clients about in terms of maybe their corporate benefits packages and things like that?
Yes, Tom, that's right. So I've been speaking to a few of my clients actually, who've been moving jobs on the basis that their companies are threatening to pull them back into the office, and they don't want to do that. So it's quite interesting. So some of the things that their companies have given them that they need to be on the lookout for in their new roles. The obvious one, of course, is pensions. And whilst we have the auto enrollment rules that stipulate how much a company and you have to contribute to a pension. Of course, many of the larger companies especially are far more generous than that. So they may well, talking to someone recently who they contribute 5% and the company contributes 10% of their earnings to a pension. So certainly that's something that one really should look out for. But then also just what's going on with your pension. Have you had a look and reviewed under the bonnet of your pension? What are you invested in? How's that fund performing? Is it right for your risk profiles and all that sort of stuff? And then the other side of it, of course, is the other perks that come with it. And of course, I know some of the large companies I used to work for, Grant Thornton, a whole range of benefit packages from life assurance through to critical illness cover. And I think you get cheap car insurance and all sorts of weird and wonderful stuff, some of which was just part of the course. Death in service benefit was part of the course, and other bits that you tacked on and they came straight out of your wages as a benefit in kind. So those are the things that my clients other than the kind of the work-life balance and whether or not the company is the right fit and they're going to have the right job, but just from a purely financial sense, what they might be looking at.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's worth just having an overview. I mean, we run lots of personal pensions for people, but even if you've got corporate pensions or pensions that you've got from previous employers, then it's always worth looking at them, and not just in terms of investment performance, but lots of clients are asking us about ethical portfolios and other bits and pieces. One interesting thing I've also noticed this week is Deliveroo are planning to hand out bonuses to all their staff when they float, depending on how many deliveries you've done. So yeah, if anyone's been topping up their income through lockdown, delivering a few pizzas, then hopefully there's a bonus on the way. But I think there's definitely a shift in corporate mentality and people's decision making as to, it's not always about headline rates of pay, to actually what's my overall package, what's my work-life balance. And I know certainly with my clients, I've sometimes helped, whilst it's not a regulated activity we do, but we can help guide you in terms of, okay, well, this role offers this, and this is the benefit. It's not always, well, one provides a bigger salary, one might provide better pension benefits, or if I'm giving up, say, healthcare or life and critical illness from one employer, how do I make sure that cover continues for my family when I move into my new role? So I think it's definitely worth just reassessing your sort of work situation at the same time, regardless of whether you're switching roles or not. Anything else to add, chaps?
No, not for me. Not for me. I think that's pretty good.
No. I'm really interested to see how this whole work-life balance is going to play out. I think it's been really fascinating. Just different people looking for different things in their jobs, as Tim was saying. Be really interesting. Some jobs you can't do from home very well. You can't trade computer systems from home, and it's very hard to work collaboratively in a sense from home as well. Zooms are great for bits, but actually bouncing ideas off each other in an ad hoc way, I think is really tricky. So it wouldn't surprise me if things like perhaps advertising agencies going back, banks go back to work. But yes, you're right. Some of these service industries, a bit like ours, where we can work from home, and actually it saves dragging clients out their front home, middle of London or the middle of Rutland to come and see you. Certainly being able to do it this way is a great advantage. But anyway, no. So that's all my little tuppence worth.
Yeah, and hopefully that feeds into markets. And I mean, you look at what the internet and tech has done to markets and all the companies that have spurned off that. I think we've been lacking productivity for so long. If this leads to the increase in productivity that particularly countries like the UK have needed, then that can be great. But yeah, so hopefully that's an update on our thoughts this week. And as always, if you've got any questions or things you'd like us to ask, then please do. And yeah, hopefully in the future we're going to be able to do some live discussions where people can ask us live on air, which will probably go drastically wrong knowing us three, but I'm sure we'll find a way to make it work. So
news to me, Tom.
Sorry, what?